Hey, this is Pat, and today we're checking out the all-new Leatt 7.5 DriTour pants. Now, if you haven't heard, Leatt is jumping full steam into the ADV market with a couple different options. You know, they're big in dirt, they're big in enduro. We've seen a couple outfits in them, specifically in enduro for off-road riding, and they're taking a stab at it in the ADV realm with 3 new lines, the DriTour being one of them. They also have the Multi-Tour as well as the Flow Tour. And I think they're doing a fantastic job of translating good things they've learned in the other markets and bringing it to the ADV realm. Now, the DriTour specifically are going to be a 2 to 3 season cool weather ADV touring outfit, and I lean heavily on the touring because I think these are a little bit more designed for those putting more miles down on the asphalt. If you need something for the summer months, or you need something a little bit more designed for off-road riding, that's where you'd want to look at the Flow Tour and the Multi-Tour. The Flow Tour will be full mesh as well as a drop waterproof liner, whereas the Multi-Tour is going to be a drop waterproof, drop thermal, as well as good ventilation, a little bit more 3 to 4 seasonality. I personally love the Flow Tour pants, but the DriTour are going to be a great option for the colder months of the year because they are a laminated waterproof main construction with polyester ripstop with a little bit of direct ventilation, some CE2 armor and all that, which we'll get into in a couple minutes, but a really solid option for those of you out there doing some light off-roading with more miles down on the tarmac in a little bit colder weather. The DriTour could just be the next pair of pants for you. But before I get too long-winded on all the features and everything like that, let's talk about the overall fit. I have Norman on my left. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, and he is usually wears about a 34 by 34 US jean and measures his belly button measurement around 40 inches. Now, when we look at the size chart, I'll admit Leatt did not do a fantastic job of designing that size chart. Actually puts him in a size 3 extra large, but we have him here in an extra large, and it's fitting him spot on, even with that thermal liner included, which you can ditch if you want, but that adds a little bit more bulk inside of there. So if you are curious about sizing, you can always reach out to us and talk about sizing over the phone with our customer service agents. But take a look at that. If you're usually, like I said, tick your typical measurement when it comes to alphanumeric, and you should be all set there. Norman would typically wear an extra large or 34 jeans. The extra large is fitting him spot on. Now, it comes in at $470 for the price point, and it comes in sizes ranging from small to 4 extra large, with short sizes for the inseam get a little bit shorter in sizes extra large and up. You do have that option if you need a little bit less in the length. 2 colors are available, but again, I like this overall black. It has like a little bit of silver and gold out accenting. On the outside, I think this is a dope style for the pants. Let's talk about the overall features though. The main construction on these 7.5 DriTours is going to be a polyester ripstop main construction, which is great for abrasion resistance. It's going to have a CE AA abrasion rating. I'll talk about the armor in a second, but that waterproof liner is a laminated 30K waterproof hydro-dry liner inside of the pants, and I love that. You can't remove it. It does have a direct exhaust vent. I wish it had a vent across the thigh just to get some air flowing through, but that laminated waterproof is in there, and 30K, for those of you not aware, on the waterproofing scale is higher than Gore-Tex, higher than a lot of brands or any brands we've really seen out there, so it's going to be very waterproof. It's also going to be very breathable when it comes to letting moisture out, so it's not just turning into an oven inside of you if it happens to be raining and you can't open the exhaust vent. Let's start at the top though, work our way down. You do have a zipper with a micro ratchet system up top. You do have suspenders included. You can remove them if you want. They do zip off and unhook in the front, and you can go ahead and just attach them to the matching DriTour jacket with the wraparound zipper that you have at the waist. If you just remove the XX zipper, zip it into the jacket, it pretty much becomes a one-piece suit at that point. Again, polyester ripstop down the entire front. You do have slash pockets up here. They will fit an iPhone 15 Pro Max. That's what I have. That's what I tossed in there. And then you have extra cargo pockets down on the side that are waterproof that you can go ahead and store. They have a zipper down the outside with an extra waterproof flap on the inside if you need to store any larger items in there. Now, I mentioned before, I do wish that they had maybe a slash vent at the front, allow some air to go through on those hotter days. But again, that's why I put them more into the cool riding months. I'll show you the exhaust vent when we get to it at the back. Now, talking about armor, you do have CE level 1 armor at the hips, and you do have adjustable CE level 2 armor at the knee as well. It is Velcro mounted, so you can adjust it where it needs to be, but if you remove that armor, you can run knee braces. Leatt is a huge player in the knee brace game, so I do like that you can add their knee braces into their ADV line. I think that's well thought out. It's going to be a tight fit. It's especially going to be a tight fit if you're using other brands out there. Leatt is known to be a little bit on the slimmer side, but they do fit in there really well. Now coming down the knee, you will see a little bit of stretch at the above the knee as well as inside the crotch. That's going to be great for those aggressive riding off-road or just being comfortable on those long hour tours. It's not going to be something that you feel like you're constricted in the pants. A little bit of pre-curve at the knee for that riding position, and you do have a huge patch of Superfabric at the knee. Now Superfabric is a third-party company. That's something that Leatt is working with. Tiny ceramic plated coating that goes over top just helps add into the sliding abrasion resistance, and I like that it's at the knee. Would have loved to seen some maybe at the hip, but that does get a little bit abrasive if you're leaning over the bike or anything like that. Could scratch your paint, so I'd rather have it down at the knee. Go ahead and turn to the side for me, Norman. Let's get a good side profile. One thing I want to point out at the side, you can really see the stretch coming behind the knee that goes up into the front of the knee as well as up into the crotch for that comfort. And then you do have this patch of leather at the interior. It's like a suede leather. It's going to help on the overall abrasion against the pants when you're gripping the bike. It's going to go for longevity as well as give you added grip in the wet conditions. Great look at the big cargo pocket that I mentioned before, that waterproof cargo pocket on the sides. Coming down, you do have a slide adjuster at the back, which we'll see in just a second, and then a big old patch of Velcro to attach, to cinch up if you're wearing tall boots, which do fit underneath here. You can go ahead and cinch it down if you're wearing something on the smaller side. Go ahead and turn to the back, Norman. Let's get a good view at the back here. I mentioned it before, you have the removable suspenders. They do zip off at the top, and that full circumference zipper that you can connect to the jacket that's sitting on a stretch panel. I like that. That means it's not going to be too, rough or aggressive when you're moving on the bike if you attach the jacket to the pants. And that's sitting on top of a big old patch of stretch above the seat. Polyester ripstop is all the way across the seat as well. And again, that crotch is full stretch on the interior for riding comfort. And then here's that exhaust vent I was mentioning earlier. It does have a little bit of a rib to help any water that does get through the zipper not go into your pants. It'll actually just bead off in there. And it's a pretty aggressive zipper too, but a massive vent down the entire back. Would have loved to seen one, Leatt, if you're listening, at the front in the next edition. Would love to see that just to increase the versatility of these pants for more seasonality. Good view of that stretch of the back of the knee and that slide adjuster that I mentioned earlier, and you can really see just the sheer amount of Velcro down at the base that you can really open up and get around tall boots, thick boots if you're running Leatt's, more aggressive off-road boots, or if you're just running their new ADV boots, this will fit over top of them just fine. You can get it spin to the front for me, Norman, but all in, again, for 2 to 3 season cold weather, I think these are a great option within the Leatt's line. And if you're looking at other features or you want something more designed for hot weather, take a look at the Flow Tour, take a look at the Multi-Tour. I love that Leatt's giving us options to really tailor fit what we need for our own riding. Again, these are fantastic if you're riding in those colder months. I'd personally go with the Flow Tours. I think they're great for hotter climates and more aggressive riding like I tend to do, but these are gonna be great if you're going across the country and hitting trails along the way. If you have any other questions though about these 7.5s, go ahead and click that info button. That's gonna take you over to the product page where you can read other rider reviews and see what other riders are saying about the new pants. But if you still have questions after that, or if you wanna talk through sizing, if that size chart is still confusing, reach out to our customer service agents. They're all riders, happy to help you get set up for your next ride. I wanna thank you for joining Norman and I in checking out the all new Leatt 7.5 DriTour pants. I'm Pat, I'll see you in the next video.